Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to module 3 of this organization behavior lecture. We have already covered the individual level behaviors, and today we are going to talk more details about the group level behaviors. That's why today we are going to talk about the groups and teams first, and in the part 2 we will be discussing this leadership, and we will be also discussing some more organization level behaviors. Let's start with our first introduction of groups and teams. Today we are going to contrast some group and teams and how you are going to understand where is the group and where is not a group, where is a team. If you start from the example phase group, you can easily understand that you create a group of, let's say, Swahar, sell and buy. It is a common interest is that to sell and purchase some old equipment or anything, cars like this within the Swahar region only. So that is the common group you have created. Similarly, you have a common group, you can understand Department of Marketing in the Bank Muscat. So this is a group again. But the team is actually a temporary setting, you can say, but there are some team cultures over there for the project-based organization like software houses. They continually adopt those team structures as well. That is not a problem. But normally in the daily life, you will see more groups rather teams. So let's talk what is the group and what is the team in little more details. For example, if you go in detail, it is a group is defined as a 2 or more individuals. And once there are 2 or more individuals, you will be seeing some conflict and negotiation processes which are the part of the this same module, and you will be learning. And if you see, there are some formal group and some informal groups. For example, informal groups are the example of face group, are you see some subscribers at YouTube, and you can see many other LinkedIn groups you can see where more professionals are there with their common interest. But the formal groups are in the organization. For example, Department of Finance, Department of Civil Engineering, Department of Mechanical Engineering, and you may have some other departments as well. These are more formal groups in this situation. So then you have and the idea of in-group and out-group. For example, you can make a group based on the Department of Civil Engineering, then whoever is civil engineer or technical team is part of this. IT engineers are there, then IT managers and IT are in the group, but all the others are like teachers in the university could be out of the group in this situation. But it is also applicable based on the common interest as well, or for example, you want to enjoy some status and norms and anything like that, then you also decide in-group and out-group, and we will be learning more in the leadership who is the in-group and who is the out of the group. We have some group formulation process over here. If you see, normally group start with the forming, storming, the next stage, then it's norming, then performing, and then adjourning. So if you see this forming is the team actually get familiarized with each other, and you can see it could be a new department of an small and medium organization. It could be a new Facebook group. Finally, it is storming, where you start communicating and you do some interviews. You start formally communicating with each other. Then norming is the stage where you trust each other. You openly share your problems and discuss them with the positive intention, not with the negative intention, and you trust each other in a more positive way. Finally, you perform properly to meet the needs of, let's say, Department of Finance was about to create some annual plan, financial plan or budget. Then you actually give a proper delivery plan in this regard. Adjourning, that the team construct on the assessment of the year and implement properly and roles and recognizing the proper contribution, and you actually conclude a group in a very positive manner, and you try to link the performance of individual with respect to group in this regard. The key theory which is very important in this regard is the social identity theory. If you try to identify yourself, you may be a student for Sohar University, you may be a son or daughter at your home, you may be a sibling, you may be a friend. These are different identities. You may be Omani, let's say you may be Balochi. These are different identities you carry when you carry with your life. Same is once you are affiliated, you are working for a Bank Muscat, then you have organizational identity at the same time. Like I have the identity of Sohar University, that is my organizational identity. This plays a critical role. Similarly, I have a group identity with me. For example, I am a marketing manager in my Bank Muscat, then I will be identified with respect to my department and group at the same time. So this identity group creates some threats as well, and there are positive things as well, but normally we take the positivity out of this identity group in this situation. So if you go further, it is the why you create the group, what are the properties of the group. You enjoy some status, you have some roles to do, you have some norms, you have diversity, you have size, you have different feature in this regard. If you go for example, a CEO elite group, they have the senior people who may sit together informally on maybe on a dinner, on a lunch, and they discuss what are the common problems due to corona in the, let's say, banking industry. They could be CEO of the Suhar Bank, they could be CEOs of the other Nizwa Bank or National Bank. They sit together informally with the positive intention and to share some common values and common agenda, so that the overall economy should survive. Same, the different leaders of the hotel industry could have sit together with the government and stakeholder, and now you see the every hotel is really booked. Why? With the quarantine, it is now necessary with that policy to quarantine in a hotel, not at home. It is not risky as well, and at the same time it will boost the economy, which was suffering, like this traveling industry was suffering, hotels were suffering. Now they are booming with this time. So this is the common thing you can say is the status is playing, the role is playing. Similarly, if you go further with this size of the group is very important. Number of more people are joining, then this size will matter too. But at the same time, it has some problem. For example, if you have very big size organization or very big department of 100 people employed, and you create a centralized structure there, one man show, then it will very difficult to communicate and take a strategic decision or participative decision. So in that particular group, if it is, especially if it is a formal one, then having a greater size become a problem. But for the Facebook group or this Yahoo group or LinkedIn group, size of the group is become very important, because you have very diversified people over there. Similarly, the norms, for example, you have the norms that we culturally accept. For example, if you have created a study group and somebody is sharing the music in there, then you show him the norms. No, this is a study group, we are here to share some study related thing, not the other things. But yes, if it is, let's say, Sohar buy and sell group, informal Facebook group, and if somebody is sharing the selling the things from the Muscats, you can ask him, brother, it is just for Sohar, and that's why we are blocking your advertisement over here. These are the norms with the values. It will emerge with the time. Same you will learn in the class more. With some practice. So if you go for the diversity is equally important. For example, male and female are there at the workplace, then you start learn to how to dress up, how to formally communicate, how to respect each other, and you learn a lot of manners in this regard. Similarly, for a skill set, if you are hiring some expatriate from Pakistan, India, Philippines, and the diversified labor force is there at your workplace, IT engineers, then you learn the different skills. For example, IT engineer can learn from each other. If someone is coming from Pakistan and India and in Oman, with the 2 years you will learn from each other, and it will help for the Omanization in your future if you learn and create diversity in this regard with the positive intention, where the organization should get the benefit at the end. So if you go further in this situation, the teams are really important. For example, let's take the example, you are going to win the highway project, for example, from Sohar to Muscat, then your civil engineer, your IT manager who is going to draft, and your finance manager and marketing manager, they all become one team in this situation for a time being. They must be integrated regarding their personality. For example, they understand each other, they have the positive intention in each other, and they have the functional conflict, mean positive conflict. Sometimes you feel the conflict is negative. No, the finance manager should speak sometime that with his internal personality, that we don't have sufficient budget, you need to raise some loan from this. This is a conflict some situation with the marketing manager who is going to win the project for you. So teams are really important, and for a time being their chemistry between the personalities and skill set is really important. So what is the team? Let's try to define it. Is a group of any people organized to work together both independently. Means like independently, I'm a civil engineer, you cannot dictate me how to work for designing of the things. IT manager, I know how to go for the technicalities and do the programming in this situation, but at the same time I know what is the vision and what project I'm contributing, and what marketing manager is saying to me, what the civil manager is saying to me, what the finance manager is telling to me. It is equally important. That's why it is cooperation and accomplishment of the goal. Not only, okay, I know the technicalities and you don't know nothing, irrespective of the budget, give me this budget, then this project could happen. No, you know each other very well and you know the budget and real circumstances, then your team will be very effective in this regard. That is why you have functional department, cross-functional, self-imaging, and virtual teams. They are more important at the same time. For example, you can hire your consultant from India, Pakistan, Dubai, and you can create a let's say application for Bank Muscat, and you can hire an engineer from a developing country, you can have a project manager from Bank Muscat from here, and all together they can create a virtual team and they can put a bid over there, and or they can develop an app with a virtual team in this regard. So let's try to differentiate between teams and groups. Somewhere the groups are important, somewhere the teams are important. Not all the teams are effective all the time, not all the groups are effective all the time. There are some pros and cons. That's why we need to differentiate between them. For example, group interaction to share information and make decision making to help each other and help the members to perform in a better way. While the team, a group whose individual effort result in a performance that is greater than the sum of the individuals. I alone as a marketing manager cannot achieve the efficiency of my civil manager, civil engineer, or the IT manager with me in this regard. So together we are a good team. We can bid a particular project and technically sound and financially sound at the same time. So means we are working for the 20 people maybe, because we are the best out of the best, and CEO has chosen and trusted us. This marketing manager is the ideal one, this IT manager is the ideal one, and finally they can deliver more than 20 people. Even they are 3-4 people, but they can give me the output of the 20 people in this regard. We will read more details in the live session as well. So let's take little differences in this situation. If you see what is the group and what is the team. So for example, the strong leader in the group like department HOD is there, but for the shared leadership is more required in the team setting. And even your junior IT manager can be a project manager because he has more vision and more energetic. He can give the chemistry and synergy to the team. Then he should be the project manager, not based on the some every time on the seniority and all those things should happen for the team setting especially. You can give a more synergy in this regard. Similarly, individual accountability is there for the group, but for there is a team-based accountability. All 3 members are accountable. If you are not winning the bid for coastal highway from Sohar to Muscat, this means your civil manager, your finance manager, and as a team you have failed. That is not the responsibility of just a project manager over there. That is the difference where your accountability will differentiate in this setting. Similarly, if you go for other thing, for example, complementary skills means current skills may have more current skills with your junior IT manager. He may have more sound in creating a network or giving you a app-based solution, or more innovative and energetic. So you should push him in a team setting. Yes, you have the IT senior manager in your department, but for a winning a team, give him a chance and test him in that particular setting. So this is the difference where the groups and teams are differentiated. Let's take with this last conclusion for this your implications, that is to decrease the possibility of deviant workplace behavior. For example, if HOD is all the time taking over, your IT team is not getting the chances, your junior civil engineer is not getting the chances to lead a project, then it will create a deviance and turnover intentions will come. People will switch from one organization to other for their fulfillment or for the higher ranking or respect or maybe the income at the same time. But if you give them the different role plays in the team settings, they will enjoy their status and they will enjoy, yes, I can lead this project and now I have the respect and my vision is also appreciated in the organization. So this is the implication. The HR manager should look into this in near future. You as a HR manager will be looking for such things, and if you see some junior managers needs a promotion, you develop proper career plan for them and prepare them for the leadership. And similarly, effective teams have the members which their chemistry and personality traits are really important. And you also pay attention to the status aspect of the group. Sometimes you give, for example, you make it a 3-year tenure track for your HOD. Yes, you are senior professor, or let's say your marketing managers or finance managers. After 3 years, you cannot be an HOD. Someone else should be the head of department for the finance department. So if you pay little details into this group setting as well, you will have a more efficiency. But if you keep the head of department for 20 years, the same person, the same, nobody else is getting chance, then you will see the performance may go down in some situation. So not all the time teams are important, not all the time groups are important. Sometimes you do mix and merge it. That's all for today's session. I hope you will learn this group related behaviors, and inshallah you will apply them in your organization. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.